This is simply a bunch of lunatics. They came to the African wilderness naked to survive. Wild beasts run rampant here. Corpses were strewn everywhere. The scene here is as terrifying as the end of the world. They need to survive in the ruins of Africa for 35 days. In order to escape the predicament, they must make the best use of everything to create a new life. This is the latest season of PUBG 2025. 12 stars from previous seasons of Survival of the Wild are back. They face fear, not afraid of difficulties. They make use of their survival skills. Survive in this post-apocalyptic wilderness. Now, the main film officially begins. Welcome everyone to subscribe to my channel for weekly updates of this season's content. All the contestants were sent to their destinations one after another. They form a group of 3. There is a female player in each group, except for group 4. After Steven, Alicia, and Frank got off the car, I was surprised to see the scene before me. There's nothing here. How should they survive? The second team, Watts, Russell, and Teal, also arrived here. The first impression this place gave them. It's just like it hasn't rained for 20 years. See the ashes on the ground. This is a fire caused by dry weather. This can be described in one word: super drought. The third team consists of Wes, Miranda, and Kellyvan. The fourth team consists of Ambwa, Jeff, and Kelly. They smell the burnt odor. Not even a single green leaf is here. Once upon a time, this place was also lush and green. The animals are full of vitality. However, since gold mining began in the 19th century, it gradually turned into what it is like now. Land drought. Animal corpses were everywhere. In the end, this place was abandoned, leaving behind a ruin. These 12 survival experts have come here. It indicates that one has never encountered such an environment before. It's definitely a challenge for them. The words barren, dry, and hot have been repeated by them countless times. They need to take off their clothes as required. Each contestant can only bring one basic tool. Each team will have an iron pot and a lighter. They must go to their respective survival points. The water resources and supplies at each survival point are limited. They must search for the surrounding ruins and tools to survive. Ultimately, they will escape from the abandoned area and return to the civilized world. This process will last up to 35 days. Was has participated in so many seasons of wild survival. I have never seen such a map before. This means that he must make use of all available resources to survive. Amber's team plans to search for useful resources along the way. After getting ready, they then went to the destination together. They have no idea at all what they will face next. The first day of the game, the team ventured deep into the desolate land. The high temperature during the day and the thorns on the ground were their first test. The temperature will soar by more than 100 degrees. The temperature at night also exceeded 40 degrees. They must find the water source as soon as possible. During this process, hyenas and wild elephants, and a large number of lion pride, all of them will become their dangers. Steven's team will head to an abandoned mine. There's a small landfill for abandoned vehicles along the way. They walked very slowly on the road. From time to time, it makes pig-like sounds. There are too many thorns on the ground. They saw a hole here. Here is an ancient mine in Africa. They entered the cave to explore. Frank thought this mine was very terrifying. It's very likely that there will be lions inside. But Steven is bold and not afraid of death. He insisted on taking everyone deep into the cave to find out the truth. They picked up discarded helmets here. Could it be that there was ever a war here? They also picked up a big steel nail. This can be used to chisel rocks. It is a rare tool. When returning, Frank accidentally hit his head. The only price was paid by Frank. Steven kept praising him as the big boss. This time, survival in the wild is exactly the same as in previous seasons. Before, I always lived in jungles, swamps, and desert islands. This time we are coming to arid Africa, and it's of hellish difficulty. There is a bird cage in the tree. They can be used for fishing. Take everything you have away. The Watts group plans to head to an unknown building. There's a water source 4 miles away. It's as hot and stuffy here as an oven. Everyone was sweating profusely. They saw abandoned buildings on the road. There's also an abandoned truck. This building is not marked on the map. They're exploring this building. See if you can find some useful items. Waz is a veteran. It also performed very well in previous season survival in the wild. He won the championship in the second season of Survival Challenge. Won a prize of 100,000 US. She is a perfect scorer without any problem. But in the face of this African doomsday survival, he still finds it extremely difficult. This will be the greatest test of his survival. Their arrival here was like that of Japanese soldiers entering a village. Remove the wires on the wall. The rubber sheets on the car were cut off to make shoes. The glass on the ground and the bottles and jars. Take everything that can be carried away. Ambwa and the others plan to look for an abandoned medical facility. There are still 5 miles to the target puddle here. The daytime temperature in Africa is very high. Even walking barefoot on the road feels hot. Ambwa is regarded as one of the legendary players. She has spent up to 150 days in the wild. Both hunting skills and teamwork were performed extremely well. Despite such an outstanding player, I still feel terrifying in the face of such an African environment. On this hot land, Ombwa felt as if he were grilled meat on the ground. They came to the abandoned medical clinic. It looks very terrifying here, but they still chose to explore this place. This building looks very old, and it gives people a sense of the end of the world. They want to look for something useful here. This sheet of iron on the ground is very nice. Discarded scissors and fresh wheelchairs. Joseph plans to transport all the supplies in this wheelchair, but one wheel is missing. He installed the wheel. He pushed the supplies and left. But a more practical thing was overlooked. A little past 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Steven's team hasn't found the water source yet. They are all dying of thirst. I haven't seen a glimmer of hope along the way. Fortunately, they finally found the water source. But the bad news is that the water source is murky. It was not as clear as they had imagined. There is no other water source within a radius of more than 10 miles. Under such conditions, I love drinking. If you don't like it, just produce and sell it yourself. There's also a pile of waste nearby. They plan to use it to build shelters. There are abandoned cars everywhere here. There are also tires all over the ground, just like a car grave. They don't know why these cars are here. Alicia feels very much like a plot from a movie, looking at the ruins before me. Frank felt that his chance had come, because he often sets survival traps at home. He considers design to be one of his strong points. He also demonstrated some skills in previous seasons. A bamboo tube was made to filter water sources. There's something, but not much. They're exploring this graveyard of automobiles. Start building the shelter right here. When they were building the shelter, suddenly, a huge roar was heard. A wild elephant appeared here. The elephant was less than 100 meters away from them. They watched the elephant drinking water. Seeing such a huge animal on the spot, they were both shocked and scared. The elephant was still coming towards them. They were so scared that they quickly hid themselves. Fortunately, the elephant didn't follow further. Otherwise, they must die a tragic death in the wilderness. Stephen has come to Africa for challenges twice, but none of them have seen wild elephants. They have been observing the movements of the elephant. Alicia was deeply touched by this. She once died after a hip replacement surgery. After her resurrection, she understood the meaning of life. Therefore, she believes that she has a strong ability to survive. I have participated in several wilderness survival events. It has performed quite well in previous seasons. She is a positive, atmosphere-oriented player. She also cherishes this doomsday survival experience very much. The elephant refused to leave all the time. Since there's no way to avoid it, let's just defend. Steven suggests reusing waste. Build a shelter using the iron frames of the surrounding cars. It is stronger than a shelter built with bushes. This is a difficult task. Hope they can finish it. Wes's team has already covered 5 miles. Now, exactly are they heading to the cleanup point? Why not go to a more distant water source? 2:45 p.m. It is now the time when the temperature is at its highest. They felt a warm current all around. There are many thorns on the road. They dare not walk fast. Wes once lived in Africa. I have also achieved very good results. This time he felt that he was suffering much more than last time. To survive here, one needs to make a plan. They were breathing heavily as they walked. I've been walking for so long, but still haven't arrived. Hurry up and take out the map to check it. They plan to go directly to the water source. If one is overly lured by material possessions, the consequence would be far from worth it. The Ombwa group is also on their way to the water source. They survive by pushing wheelchairs. It looks quite ridiculous. The temperature here is very high. My feet feel as if they're being burned through. Another building appears ahead, but no water source was seen. They decided to continue exploring here. This kind of architecture creates natural conditions for snakes, so be very careful. The venom of the African black mamba snake is extremely strong. One bite is enough to be fatal. The walls of this building are very fragile. Jeff thought it was not suitable for living. He found another small trolley, but the wheel has already been damaged. Jeff cut the tire with a knife. Tires might be used to make shoes. Ombwa found an old cage. It could be used for fishing. This can be regarded as a treasure. The Waz group has also been on the move all the time. I felt like I was about to faint from the sun, although very difficult, but they must reach their destination. Staying still will only lead to a dead end. They soon arrived at the water source, and there is also an abandoned building nearby. Now they feel parched and thirsty. Under the shade of the trees lies their lifeline. Russell is showing some symptoms of heat stroke. Waz and Teal continue to explore the ruins. The iron sheet on the ground and the doll in the corner. It's terrifying to look at. The bats in the corner indicate that there are a large number of bacteria on the ground. Inhale fungal spores from the droppings of bats and rats. It may cause histoplasmosis in humans. This is a disease that invades the lungs and can be transmitted, so you must be very careful and cautious. Today their plan is to build shelters and look for water sources. Russell has already run into problems. If a teammate is lost, then the start of the Watts group will become even more difficult. After they lit the fire, I just boiled a pot of water. Russell had collapsed to the ground. His teammates were very worried about his situation. I asked him, but he didn't answer anything. It seems that he has suffered from heat stroke. Teal simply cleaned an abandoned glass bottle with a wooden stick. I filled some water for Russell to drink. Russell is in urgent need of water and rest now. It's really hard to survive in such an environment. Waz and Teal took the initiative to undertake the task of building the shelter. They collected a lot of iron sheets from nearby buildings. Surround the big trees with iron sheets to make a shelter. These iron sheets are very heavy and sharp. It's very easy to hurt your hand. This challenge was more difficult than they had imagined. It's simply challenging their physical limits. Since everyone has come in, then just strive to finish it. Wes and the others are still on their way. I didn't see any animals along the way. Kelly Van was worried about whether he could hunt for food. They saw buildings here, but only one wall remained. Miranda wants to build a shelter here, but Wes thought it best to be close to the water source. So this place is simply not suitable for building a shelter. They had no choice but to keep going. Finally, we have arrived at our destination. There are animal footprints on the ground, although there is water here. But there are crocodiles in the water. Adult freshwater crocodiles can leap out of the water. Footprints on the ground. It might have been left by crocodiles. This water is as dirty as milk tea. They filled a pot with water and left. Miranda really wants to catch the crocodiles in the water. She is very good at fishing. I often go to the sea to catch sharks and take pictures together to post on Moments. They made a fire in the ruins. Once there is fire, water can be boiled and drunk. Are they planning how to spend tonight? Thorns are powerful weapons against animals. They cut down a lot of thorns for protection. This side of the Omwood duo, Jeff has been cutting tires. Kelly saw a monitor lizard here. If this lizard could be hunted, then they will be able to have a grilled meat dinner on the first day. Of course, Kelly wants to go hunting, but she had no confidence that she could catch it. Omboa, carrying a bow and arrow on his back, was watching a play by the side. They had a dispute over whether to hunt or not. Kelly kept talking nonstop. Jeff said either take action or give up. What does it mean to keep talking about stand-up comedy there? Omboa felt embarrassed when he heard his teammates arguing. Dissatisfaction arose on the very first day. Kelly considered that there was no water at the moment, not suitable for protein supplementation, because the human body needs to consume a lot of water to digest protein. So I could only watch the monitor lizard leave in vain. And for Jeff, asked a simple question, but they got a complicated answer. It's really hard to communicate like this. On such barren land, wasting a meal of food is definitely a very foolish act. Jeff finally took off the tire. They collected a lot of things. The sun will set in 2 hours. They must find water sources and build shelters before dark. Steven's team over here. They surrounded the tires and the scrap car to create an open space. It is planned to build a strong fortress. These abandoned cars are very heavy and sharp. It's very easy to hurt your hand. Look, Frank pays for the team again. I hit my head while picking up supplies in the mine. I hurt my hand while building a shelter. Frank is so unlucky. His mother opened the door for him. He's so unlucky. The wreckage of these abandoned vehicles is covered with rust. It is very easy to get infected when scratched. His anxious teammate was afraid of death. The doctor arrived soon. Treat Frank's wound. Get injured in this filthy environment. The doctor only put a band-aid on him. On the first day here, I will hold on even if it means death. After treating the wound, continue working. To protect oneself, they decided to move the scrap car by towing. Omwa's team hasn't found the water source yet. They spent a lot of time looking for supplies. On this hot African land, I walked from morning until 4 or 5 in the afternoon. They finally arrived at the water source. Animal remains are everywhere here. There's a lot of animal feces in the water. They looked at the pool of bubble milk tea in front of them. I have no appetite at all. There's also a rusty iron bucket beside it. This iron bucket is used to burn charcoal. Omboa proposed spending the night inside tonight. But during the day, it's like an oven inside. There is no time to build shelters for them now. So I can only make do with living inside. They just need to place thorns at the exit. The thorns around are inexhaustible. They soon formed a defensive circle. Make use of everything available around you. This place is very close to the water source. It's inevitable that some animals will come to drink water at night. This means that the position they are in is extremely dangerous. Omboa felt like a bait in a metal bucket. May you have a safe night tonight. The Waz team built shelters with iron sheets. Russell is not feeling well. It has always been Waz and Teal who build a shelter. Disqualify a teammate at the very beginning. It was a disastrous start for the Watts duo. Russell felt extremely guilty. He prayed that it would get dark soon and be cooler. But things are far from being so simple. Russell suddenly threw up violently. The symptoms of heat stroke are becoming increasingly obvious, although I can still hold on for now. If one doesn't drink enough water and get enough rest, then Russell is very likely to be the first player to withdraw from the competition. Let's look forward to holding on until tomorrow. The Steven team finally built the shelter. The shelter is of a very large scale. It looks safe enough. This shelter consumed a large number of their calories, but this heavily guarded fortress make them feel safe. A little past 5 in the afternoon, Wes and the others are building a shelter. The resources on their side are the least. Only thorns could be cut down to enclose the wall. The first day's task was finally completed. They made ingenious use of this abandoned building. It can be said to be the safest shelter. The terrifying night gradually fell. The Ombwa group hasn't made a fire yet. Fortunately, making a fire in Africa is not difficult. It would be perfect if there were a lizard for dinner. It's past 10 p.m. The wild beast began to come out for a walk. Waz and the others heard footsteps. Russell felt scared. They didn't even make a fire. Slapping the iron sheet to make a sound scares the lion away. Stephen's situation is equally pessimistic. The elephant appeared again during the day. They were too scared to sleep, although the shelter is very sturdy. But for wild elephants, it's nothing. It's indeed very dangerous here. Wes and the others couldn't sleep either. The roar of the lion woke them up. They perked up immediately. The lion was watching right at the entrance of the shelter. The sounds of animals were everywhere around. They just have protective baits. Miranda was almost scared to tears. Fortunately, the lion finally left here. It was the second day. Jeff got up in the morning to observe the surrounding environment. It just looks terrifying. Today they plan to make a pair of shoes using tires. There are many thorns in Africa. Without shoes, you can't even run away from a lion. This iron bucket provides them with natural shelter. Even if it rains, I'm not afraid. They make shoes here. The design is very fashionable. It is very suitable for local use. Jeff was walking on the road in fashionable shoes. There's no need to worry at all about thorns pricking your feet again. Just when I thought they were going to do something big. They were actually sitting by the shore, enjoying the scenery. But soon they packed up and headed for the next destination. It's around 9 a.m. Wes and the others are talking about their experience last night. They realized how dangerous it was here. But one has to survive here. They must face their fears and explore the surrounding environment. The original plan was to search for water sources today, but last night's experience made them feel dangerous. So they continue to look for other buildings today. It's another long-distance hike. This will consume a great deal of their physical strength. What Jeff fears most is hiking. I had the same experience in previous seasons. This place is terrifying. They are walking on the road. Isn't it also a kind of adventure? Teal is fetching water by the shore. Waz continued to improve the shelter. Russell is completely ruined. His legs are always cramping. This is a symptom of heat stroke. Waz told him to drink more water and get more rest. He felt sorry for his teammates. Didn't help at all at the beginning. Teal came alone to the abandoned building in search of supplies. This is a brand new challenge for her. The sun in Africa is very scorching. Teal wants to transform this sofa into a piece of clothing. Prevent yourself from getting sunburned. Waz made a fish hook out of iron wire. This fish hook is very big. It is used for catching big fish. He took another iron wire out of the wire. This can be used to make fishing line. After making the fishing gear, he plans to give it a try on the shore. Ombwa and the others are still on the way looking for water sources. They saw a big tree here. It feels very suitable to build a shelter here. Their plan for today is to build a shelter here. This place is very close to the abandoned buildings. They plan to build an A-type shelter on the tree with the iron sheets they have collected. There's a large amount of discarded iron sheets here. It's enough for them to build a shelter. I'm very curious why they didn't build shelters near the water source. Instead, they came to this open space. When collecting iron sheets, teammate Kelly was dissatisfied with Jeff. Her mouth kept talking nonstop. Jeff told her to shut up, but she wouldn't listen. They have been quarreling. Ombwa felt extremely embarrassed looking at it. Sometimes having many women is not a good thing either. Anyway, neither Jeff nor Kelly would give in to the other. Ombwa acts as an intermediary. She really doesn't know how to persuade her. Jeff felt that Kelly always interrupted him when he was speaking. This made him very dissatisfied. The atmosphere of the Stephen duo is really great. Alicia saw many vultures circling in the sky. This means there might be rotten flesh around. They are very glad that they have survived until today. Stephen plans to explore the surrounding environment today. Only with sufficient understanding can one truly survive. They went out together to fetch water. When I came to the water source, I saw many pearl chickens. There is also the Yuju cave. Frank wants to hunt pearl chickens. They scoured everywhere around. I actually found eggs, although there are only 2. Alicia thought this was a big deal. Having food means they can survive here. They returned to the shelter and boiled the eggs. But eggs float. This means there might be chicks inside. Alicia is a vegetarian. She was unwilling to taste the hatched chicks. After cracking the eggshells, sure enough, there was an unformed chick inside. But all of these are rare proteins. Frank felt it was very delicious. 1 egg is for 3 people to share. Perhaps only here can they appreciate the preciousness of food. These foods might not be delicious, but it can enable you to survive in barren places. Frank licked the lid of the plate containing the eggs clean, and each person licked a few times. If it were me, just starved to death. It's around 11 a.m. Wes and the others are still on their way. There's a huge building here. It seems that the environment is very nice, but the animal remains on the ground scared them. Wes thought it was very terrifying here. They just want to collect the supplies quickly and then leave. It seems that this place has been burned by a big fire. They collect the iron sheets here. This can be used to build shelters. The sun is very hot at noon. Miranda thought of making clothes from the material of the sofa. In this team, Wes felt as if he was struggling to survive with his 2 children. They collected a considerable amount of supplies. Each person took some supplies and then headed back. A little past 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Wes saw fish in the water. He plans to fish with the fish hook he made today, but fishing requires bait. Wes wants to find a scorpion to use as bait. He found a scorpion under the dead tree, cut off its sharp spines with a knife. Waz hung the scorpion on the fish hook. I hope this bait can swim. Next, let's see if there are any fish biting the hook. I hope he can catch a big fish. Teal made sexy clothes in the shelter. Backless dress with a slit skirt. Russell perked up after watching. Teal asked him to go and fetch water together. Russell immediately refused. It indicates that one still needs to rest for a while longer. It's really too dangerous. I was almost pulled to work by my teammates. There are many antelopes nearby. Russell wants to go hunting. Teal must have supported him. For Teal, if one wants to die, it surely won't stop them. Waz has been working all the time. In fact, division of labor and collaboration are also very good. Russell went out alone in search of prey. In Africa, this is very dangerous. He looked at the footprints on the ground and tracked his prey. The footprints in the riverbed are very fresh. The photographer didn't dare to follow too closely either. He saw an antelope nearby, approach slowly and draw the bow to shoot. In the end, the antelope left without any trouble. I thought I could really hit it. I thought he would launch a big move. I didn't expect to pull such a big lump. Teal asked him what he had hunted. Russell said he had run dozens of kilometers to track his prey. It was almost caught in the end. Anyway, my teammates didn't see it. Whether the process is wonderful or not all depends on how thick-skinned one is. Watts began to be dissatisfied with Russell. Think he has made no contribution, especially when there is no food to eat. It's very difficult to take care of someone as well. All we can do is pray that he will recover soon. The Ombwa team began to build a shelter here. They made a frame with discarded nails, then cover both sides with iron sheets. Make an A-shaped shelter, as long as there is enough iron sheet. It's very simple to build such a shelter. They soon built up a shelter. I thought they would stay here. I didn't expect them to leave again with something. What does this team want to do? The West team really made me laugh to death. Collect all kinds of garbage. They are here to survive in the wilderness. But I have no idea if it's serious or not. As long as they are happy, that's fine. Ombwa and the others returned to the iron bucket again. She began to modify the cage. This cage can be used to catch fish. She also collected a lot of copper wires. It can be used to repair the holes in the cage. Ombwa is really a beautiful young woman. Sometimes I don't even know what on earth I'm explaining. Two teammates were lost in thought on one side. I'd rather be exposed to the sun outside. I don't want to go back to the shelter to rest either. Only Ombwa was working. She also found a sieve for panning for gold. Cover the sieve with a net bag. Then a fishing device can be made. If fish enter through a small hole, they will lose their way. Ombwa put the fish basket he had made into the water. Nothing was put in. Will there really be fish going in? In the evening, they slept very peacefully in the iron bucket. There's no need to worry about any fierce beast attacks at all. The temperature in the early morning is very low. They felt very cold. A fire does not provide warmth. It was the third day. Steven's team over here. They are transforming the carpet in the shelter. All these things were found in scrap cars. Steven wants to transform this bird into a hunting trap. Hang bait inside. Wait for the little bird to go in. Just pull the door and you'll succeed in hunting. He disguised the iron cage with hay. Then hang a grasshopper inside as bait. I just don't know if I can attract the little birds in. This side of the Ombwa duo. Jeff got up early in the morning. After getting used to it here, I actually feel very comfortable. They have already got used to the environment here. Kelly talked nonstop like a crazy woman. She doesn't get along well with Jeff. The two have always had different opinions. Jeff would rather stay outside. I don't want to go back to the shelter to listen to her either. Waz and the others are not harmonious either. Russell always makes excuses not to work. Teal was dissatisfied with him. Every day, it is Waz and Teal who do the work. They made fun of Russell behind his back. I've been here for so long. There was no contribution at all. What other surprises will the contestants bring us next? Look forward to the update of the next video. Don't forget to click and subscribe. One episode of this series of videos is updated every week.